Okay, so welcome to our team call. It's the second day of April, and if you guys know me, I get super jazzed at the beginning of every month just because I don't know, 3 years ago, like I didn't goal set. Like a new month didn't mean anything to me. I didn't have any aspirations to do anything awesome with my life. And now every time that, a new month comes up, it's just like, I don't know, I get giddy because it's like this opportunity to do something more, to do something I've never done, or to set a goal, or to challenge myself in some way, or to find some way to become better. So if you guys haven't sat down in April yet and decided, like, what am I going to do this month to make it better than last month? Do that, because every month that you can challenge yourself to become a better you, you're making yourself better in every aspect of your life. You're making your business better in every aspect of your life. You're better for your family and everything. So it's a new month, you guys. So whatever happened in March, I don't care. April is where it's at, and it's exactly whatever you make it. Know this too, like Carl dropping that all access challenge pack down to 160, guys, like that is absolutely insane. So find a way, find a way to share that, find a way to share your story with it. Get out there and tell people about it, because people need this. This is a solution that's not just a month solution. It's a solution that's an entire year of a community. And think about it, guys. I know some of us, me, Mac, Jess, Katie, Jules, we've been on this journey for more than a year now. Sierra, you've been on this a year. You just haven't been coaching that long yet. But think about what Beachbody can do for you in a year. So we're gifting somebody that entire gift. You know what I mean? That's just really awesome and super inspiring. So make sure that we're talking about that. I'm just going to be honest, because this was one of my huge goals for 2017, is to be honest. Mackenzie actually volunteered to do this call, you guys, because she said to me about a month ago, she goes, look, I know, Mason, this is going to be the first weekend that he's gone. And she's like, I just want to let you know that I'm here for you, and I would love to, speak on the team call. I really feel like I have some great insight and value to add. And I was so appreciative of it at the time, because I just didn't know how I would feel, coming through this deployment. But I just feel like it worked out really well anyways, because this was Mackenzie's first month full time, and the change that I've seen in her and how much she's furthered her business in 30 days, I'm like, there's no better person to kick us off in April than her. So I'm super honored to have her tonight, and so grateful for, your friendship, just for being here for me and the team. And we're super pumped to hear from you. I just want to go over a couple things before we start. Guys, if you have any new coaches, or you're a coach yourself wanting to go through the mentorship, it starts tomorrow. So this is for any coach or any new coach who just really feels like they haven't mastered the basics yet. Make sure that you are applied and enrolled in the new coach mentorship, because that's kicking off tomorrow. You're working with, the top 6 coaches on Misfit Legion, and we have some awesome information for you, some awesome tips to help you see success in starting your business. So if you can go through those 30 days, taking in that info and just really applying it, I think that you're going to move mountains in your first month. So if you're not a new coach, anybody on your team, guys, doesn't even have to be you. Somebody you think you really could benefit from that, get them in this training and help them get started. The only other thing that I'm going to say is tomorrow's wake-up call is with Carl and Shalene. And if you guys obviously know Carl, he's our CEO. And if you know Shalene Johnson, she's Turbo Jam, Turbo Fire, PIO, personal development guru, like an amazing inspirational speaker. So I'm really pumped for tomorrow's national wake up call, because I really feel like, whatever motivation and inspiration Carl's going to come at, Shalene's just really going to bring like a really inspiring piece to us to add to that I think is really going to fuel our fire and get us excited for April as well. So that's it. Not too much today, but like I said, I'm so pumped to hear from Mac, just because she just reminds me so much of myself when I went full-time with Beachbody, and just kind of like how, and it's not even about becoming full-time, guys. Like, there's a lot of people who don't even have the aspirations to leave their jobs, which is great. But there's something about getting yourself in the mindset of like, my back's against the wall in this business and I have to make it work. And I think when you really let yourself go there and you really do the things that you know that you have to do, the the not so sexy things, the mundane tasks, the stuff that you're just like, oh, I can skip this today. No, when you do those things, you're going to be so surprised like what actually happens, how quickly it starts to compound in your business over just the 30 days, right? So for me, it was like I saw a huge shift when I got in that mindset. Kelsey Smith saw a ginormous shift when she quit her job last year and she put her back against the wall. Jess Brown put her back against the wall when she came back into this business, and she just put her head down and went running. And now I'm watching Mackenzie do the same thing, and it's super awesome. So Mac, take it away, babe. It's all you. Whatever you want to share with us tonight. I've got my pen and paper. So go ahead.
Thanks so much, Nat. You guys know how much, well, Natalie, you know how much I love you and how much I appreciate everything that you've done for me. And honestly, guys, like I will say, like that relationship, I mean, I could literally, I'm going to really try not to be emotional because I will be, but, you know, being really honest and open, especially with your coach and with your teammates and the people in this business, your challengers, your conversations, it's a huge, huge, huge part of getting over your own kind of, I guess, hurdles that are in front of you. But I just want to say thank you to everybody for hopping on here, listening to me. I'm the most nervous I've ever been to guest speak on a call, and I'm not really sure why. But I guess it's because I always pictured myself like being on this side of the story, like telling this story and actually feeling like my actions match my words. So it just feels really good to know that. And okay, like I don't know what's happening to me right now, but I just want you guys to know that like I didn't always feel that way, and I didn't always feel like, you know, a month ago I was like, I know I'm gonna have awesome value to add. Like I want to speak because I knew I was going into the first month of my business as a coach who just went full time, and I had that kind of belief in myself that I really, really wanted to give that back to anybody else who felt things that felt the way I felt for so long in this. Because honestly, guys, this shift that I've seen lately did not happen, you know, on day one of my business. It happened, I would say, maybe 4 months ago. But what really started to happen in the last couple months was understanding how important it is to take responsibility for where you are and like what your life looks like, what your business looks like, and doing that truly changed everything. It's kind of like you make that decision, right? But everybody talks about they make a decision and they think, okay, well, I decided I'm going to be successful, so tomorrow I'm just going to wake up and I'm going to be successful. But that's really not like how it works. We have to make the decision to go on this journey of growth, which is not fun and not all the time. Let's just put it that way. It's a journey of, you know, taking responsibility for the good, the bad, the ugly. If something fails, it's on you. If, you know, something goes wrong or if you don't get to where you want to go, it goes on you. And I think what held me back for so long was like the pressure and the responsibility of that, because I wasn't ready yet. I didn't have a big enough reason. So I just want to take you guys back and take you kind of through my journey as a coach. And as I do that, I'm going to leave you with a couple things I feel like I've learned that I hope will speak to you, because if there's anything that I love about this business, it's doing this, it's giving back. Because like I said, I've always wanted to tell this story. I've always wanted to have these lessons. But I definitely had to learn a few really, really hard lessons of my own. So I became a coach probably for, if I'm just going to guess, a lot of us are here, right? Because we finished the program. We loved the results that we saw, and we wanted to help other people see those same results, right? That's a lot of the reason I feel like that everybody says yes to becoming a coach. But when we get involved, we realize that there's so much more to this business. There's so much more at our fingertips. And I remember being in the car with Natalie, and she was kind of like talking me through like what a why is and like, you know, how important that is. And I remember thinking like, I don't know, like, I guess, you know, to just not, I don't know. Like, I was like, I don't know what that would be. Like, that's weird. Like, I don't know what my reason is.
Wait, weren't we in the car and you were like taking notes? I was like telling you the first steps of being a Beachbody coach or something.
Yeah. Yeah. And guys, like, to be completely honest, I was like, I don't know. Like, I had no idea what I was really getting myself into. And I don't think I really did until, you know, I think you have to give this a year. You have to give yourself a year to get your feet wet with everything that is possible here and everything that we have at our fingertips, because you really start to grow into the person that can take responsibility for their business and can take responsibility for where they want to go. And maybe you're going to hit the ground running and you're going to, like Natalie, she quit her job immediately and was in this. But I guarantee you, she would tell you that from day one, her why was so much stronger than mine was on day one. And that's just always what it's going to come back to, is that. So let's fast forward ourselves a year into my business. I remember it was last April. I was getting ready to move, and I was like sobbing in my room. I did like a one-on-one with Kylie, I think, that day, and maybe Natalie too. But I was like so sad. I was like, my business has not moved forward. Here I am, like about to move to a new state, and all I want to do is work this business full time, and I'm just not there yet. And I was so disappointed in myself, and I felt so like just, I didn't feel good enough. And I was like punishing myself the whole entire month, because I was like, I should be here, and this person's here, and I should have done this, and I could have done this more, and maybe I would be farther along. And I spent a lot of my business doing that. I was comparing myself a lot. And not because I, didn't really know where to go, but because I didn't want to take responsibility for what everything looked like. It's so much easier to blame somebody else, or say that, I don't have as good enough of a transformation as they do, or there's not enough people out there for me to help. I'm not a leader. I don't have, all this time like everybody else. I can't run a business because I can barely do my laundry, right? Like, there's no way I could do a job like them. I just don't have what it takes, right? And I always had those thoughts streaming through my head, even though here I was on social media, like Miss Positive, like I got my life figured out and everything's great and I'm doing great. And I'll tell you right now, like, masking yourself on social media is only going to make you feel guilty. It's only going to make you feel guilty. It's only going to make you feel even more not good enough. It's only going to make you feel like you're just another coach. And if you feel like you're posting just like another coach, you're not being real enough. You are being fake. You're being fake if you're not truly sharing things that are hard to share, that's really what your life looks like. If you're posting one thing and your life looks another way, then you are posting a lie. You are being fake, and people are going to know that. They're going to see through that, and you're going to feel an immense amount of guilt running this business, and that's not a fun way to do this. I was never focused on the right things. I was constantly focused on me, my business. I haven't moved far enough ahead, this and that. But I wasn't staying focused on what's really, really going to grow my business. So let's fast forward to May. And I just moved to Jacksonville. I took a month off to run this business full time. I just moved here, so I didn't really want to jump into a job. But I was like, oh, cool. Like, I'm running my Beachbody business full time. I was like, all like, this is so cute. Like, I was just obsessed with what everybody could see on the outside, right? It was all talk. Here I was posting like, I'm running this full time and I've got this down and this. But really, guys, behind the scenes, I was not putting in the work at all. Like, I had a post go up almost every single day talking about how I was rocking this thing. But I didn't even understand the type of work that it takes to make this thing work. Like, hard work. So there I was again at the end of May getting a job. And I'm not saying, you're not really, I've done a lot in this last month, but let me just tell you that there was a time where I did not think that was possible. I did not think it was possible to give myself a $400 raise. I didn't think it was possible to help 10 people in a month. And that's why I just set the same goals over and over again. I never, like Natalie said, she always tries to improve. And I was just trying to stay afloat. I was just trying to be a diamond, okay? Like, I was just trying to not fall apart, to, stay afloat, basically. And that is no way to run this type of business. You do not want to feel like you're constantly drowning, or you're not going to have any joy. You're not going to enjoy this. Your journey is going to feel like work, because you're just trying to be that person that you that you feel like you need to be to do this. So when you feel like that, it takes all the fun out of it. It takes all the purpose and all the reason out of it. So I'll be honest with you guys. I went through so many emotional tear fests this last year because I constantly felt like I was just drowning. Like I could not figure out why my business was not moving forward. So I got another job. You know, I'll never forget when my mom came to Jacksonville for the first time and to visit me when I was living here. And I had to work every single day that she was here. And it was like one of the worst feelings of my life because here she was like visiting me, and I only had one night off with her, and the only day off that I had with her was when she was flying home. So that crushed me, and that was a lot of the reason why I wanted to build this business. Was I able to take those days off with her? No, but I never lost sight of like, I'll get there, right? So let's move through the summer. Again, I'm just staying afloat. I'm showing up. I'm doing workouts. I'm running challenge groups. I'm looking for coaches. But it's like every day I just woke up and was like, okay, like I wonder what I can do in my business today. You know, like I wonder if I'll send invites. I wonder what my post will be about. Like I had no purpose behind anything. I was just kind of like flopping around through the wind, like seeing whichever direction I went, and that's where I would go. I had a diamond business, but like I said, like I don't feel like it was stable at all. And that felt like scary. I was afraid to log into my Coach Online office. I was afraid to look and see where my business was because I truly didn't feel like I was running it. So fast forward a little bit more till, sorry, I'm going through this quick, but I just have so many points that I'm going to want to make. So let's go into like the fall. So I've been living in Jacksonville. I have this other job. And I kind of think that maybe I don't want you guys to think that you have to hit rock bottom to like work your business and have any kind of fire behind you. But you do have to have some type of rock bottom that you're afraid of hitting, or some type of life that you're afraid of living. That way you kick your butt into gear and you move forward. Because I had basically just been getting slapped by myself and punched by myself for like a year and a half, and it felt awful. Here I was, we were about to, qualify for the Diamond Retreat. And I'll never forget this. I was sitting in my room where I used to live, and it was I don't know if it was like a Thursday or a Friday, but I was getting ready to go to work, and Natalie texted me and she told me, your account, you're going to lose Diamond next week if you don't figure this out. Basically what had happened was I had a coach who I hadn't talked to in probably 3 months, who had 2 active people underneath her that were holding my diamond rank. So all that needed to happen was for this person who I don't talk to anymore, she's literally cut off all communication with me, to just go inactive. And guess what happened that week? She went inactive. And there was this retreat that I wanted to go to so badly with one of my best friends who helped me build this business. I felt like a total failure. I felt awful. I was contemplating quitting. I thought I didn't have what it takes. I was like, screw it. Like, I'm just gonna bartend for the rest of my life. Like, I'm over this. Like, I was so frustrated and so mad. And I was almost mad at Natalie because she cared and because she reminded me. And I'm like, why can't she just let me, figure this out? But then I'm like, no, like, she just wants the best for me, right? And I'm like, I was feeling so many emotions, but I most of all felt like, what in the heck am I going to freaking do? What am I going to do? Nothing like your back being against the wall, right? It was a non-negotiable that I was going to this retreat. So I found a way to figure out how to build my business right. And I did that in a week. I shifted my focus to, all right, who can I grow to help be a leader? Who can I grow to help give this business to? Because guys, it's not going to happen by just going out and hunting down people. I had to literally find my purpose in this again through that. Because I almost quit, but what saved me was the fact that I wanted to be there for somebody else. Because Natalie was there for me when I started. That's all that saved me from throwing this out. And not to mention, you know, the incredible vision that I have for my life. But let's be honest, at that point, I thought I was never going to get there. But the only thing that kept me going was like, I cannot let people down who could feel like I feel right now, who felt like I felt when I first started as a coach. So I led with that intention behind it. And I got my diamond rank back. 2 weeks later, what was happening? I was losing it again. It happens. This is the business, guys. Like, it's not sunshine and rainbows all the time. So I honestly fought till it was 12 o'clock that night before Thursday night. And I ended up, you know, holding it, and I ended up going to the retreat. But I remember being at the retreat, and I was like talking to Kelsey, and I was talking to Natalie, and I was even listening to Jess and listening to all these amazing leaders. And I was just like, you know, I just felt like something was missing for me. I was like, I don't know what it is, but why don't I feel like, you know, when I'm talking to them, that I feel like a business owner, that I feel like somebody that's really going to make these dreams of hers come true, that I really feel like I belong here. Like, what is it that I'm missing that is not helping me get to that next step, which is, you know, just taking your business and then taking your life to the next step. And I was like, I just got so mad at myself. I'm like, I know I can do this. I know I can do this. I've done hard things. I've locked in success club when it's hard. I've held my rank when it's hard. I've done things when it's been hard. So why can't I just get to that next step? And honestly, guys, I didn't believe in those little actions every single day. I didn't believe in myself. I lacked so much belief because I always, you know, was all talk and no action. And I just spent that every single day. I was like, oh, you didn't do good enough today. Oh, you weren't good enough today. You didn't do enough today. It was a constant not enough conversation. I showed up. I did I did the bare minimum, but it was a constant, you didn't do enough. And I was like, all right, what can I change to feel like at the end of the day, I moved my business forward? And Natalie, honestly, guys, she probably had about 15 come to Jesus talks with me in a span of like 6 months. But there was one in particular that stood out, and I don't know why I remember these things. Like they were like they like flashed like clips in my brain. But I was just really miserable at my job. I was so miserable that I was crying every night. I did not want to go to work. I was having literally like panic attacks before going into work. I was so miserable that I couldn't even I'd lost all fulfillment. I'd lost all joy in my everyday life. This business was all that I had to connect me back to that. So one day I was I was in my apartment, and it was Thanksgiving break, and I wasn't with my boyfriend. He was with his family. Natalie and Mason were back home. I was in my apartment by myself, and I think I texted Kelsey maybe after this, but I've never felt more alone and more disappointed in myself, because it was like all of those not good enoughs. You didn't do good enough. You almost lost this. You almost lost that. You failed here. You failed there. All of those moments, it's like they crashed on top of me because I was not home with my family. I'd never felt more alone. It was the worst feeling I've ever felt. It sucks to feel disappointed in yourself. Sucks. That's the worst feeling in the world, to feel disappointed in yourself. And I don't want that for anybody on this call, because it's not necessary. It's not necessary. It's really just you being in your own way, because every single person that I'm looking at right now is capable of never feeling that way. I was capable for so long before that to make the changes. And I'm not saying the changes that are going to happen overnight, but make the changes and the decision towards that journey of I will not give up until what I need to do is done. So that was kind of my turning point, I guess. And like I said, I don't want anyone on here to hit rock bottom before they feel like they need to get their asses up and go to work. But if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. Just recognize when you're at rock bottom, because if you go any lower than that, it's not going to be a very easy climb. But I just remember thinking that day, and that was, that's kind of when I wrote some goals up on my door, but it was kind of just like, that's enough. That's it. It had never been more clear to me what I wanted out of this business. And if you don't have a very, very, very clear reason why you're here, a lot of people say, I think, having a why is really good. Having a vision is really good. But I think, if you can find a reason, we all need a why, we all need a vision, but the reason that you're going to show up every single day. What is it? Like, what do you look at? I look at my last weekend, and I cannot imagine if I would not have been around for experiencing time with my family and being able to be there. So if you don't have that reason clear, that you're not going to show up every single day. You're not going to put in the work. And guys, this started for me, 4 months before I went before I just went at this full time. But I had to start understanding that my mentality had to be different. The not good enoughs had to go. Even if that day I didn't do shit, this girl was not going to beat herself up. She was going to say, you didn't do shit today. Wake up tomorrow and do better. And if I, you know what I'm saying? Like I had to stop beating myself up for not doing enough, for not being good enough, and start accepting myself for where I was and figuring out how I was going to get to where I was going to go. Because sitting around and wallowing in this, like, I'm not good enough, I can't be a leader, this is, I'm not this, I'm not that, I did this today and I didn't do that today, I didn't do enough of this, that wasn't going to get me anywhere. So you have to really believe that if you show up with that kind of intention, things are going to start to change. And it's kind of hard to believe that, because it's like Natalie told me, you have to wake up every day and believe with intention. Believe with intention. Do actions with intention. When you're sending invites, that has to be because this is what you want, or this is what you want for others. That stuff is not fun. It's not fun to sit down at your computer and get rejected 20 times in one night. That does not feel good. That's exhausting. I used to work 12-hour shifts as a bartender, and I can tell you it's more exhausting to sit down for an hour and get told no. It's way more exhausting. It's mentally and emotionally exhausting. But that's what's going to build your business, and that's what I wasn't doing. I was showing up on the outside. I was letting everybody know that I was still here. I was doing the workouts. I was showing up in the team pages. I was throwing piss poor challenge groups, but I was not showing up behind the scenes. And I guess the promise that I made to myself that day was, you're no longer going to be a fake, and you're no longer just going to tell the world that you're doing this and not actually put your ass to work and do it. Because it just felt embarrassing at that point. I felt totally like a failure, because I was disappointed that I could be where I wanted to be had I not gotten my own way. So you're not really trying at this business until you feel like you're failing. Because honestly, I was just kind of coasting along there. When I was, I was losing rank and this and that, but those were just these bombs that came here and there. Every single day, I kind of feel like I fail a little bit, because, I put my neck out there a little bit more. I get uncomfortable a little bit more every single day, because that's how you grow a business. Nobody comes into this and knows how to be a business owner, how to be a CEO. I didn't make the decision. I made the decision to go on a journey to grow into the person that I needed to be, to have the dreams and have the vision that I created for myself when I first started this. It's not going to happen overnight. It really, really won't. And you got to get over that. You've got to get over that. But you got to put your energy into the right things. You got to put your energy into the right things. So I was spending 2 hours creating graphics. That's not good. Because I had 2 hours that day to work my business. And I literally told Natalie, I was like, I can't imagine if I would have worked with this much intention, this much heart, this much purpose, and this much drive when I had another job for just an hour a day. It's crazy what can happen. It's crazy, but you have to have that like mental intention. Otherwise, you're not going to show up for that hour. Those little things that we are like that are so easy not to do. Like I was thinking the other day, like today, I was like, okay, I would really love to reach out to this girl in my challenge group about coaching. And I was like, maybe I should just wait till tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like it's Sunday. I don't know. Like we already talked, blah. I'm like, no, I should absolutely ask her today. Don't wait until tomorrow in this business. Don't wait until tomorrow. That's not to say that like you need to write a to-do list and then beat yourself up if you don't finish every single thing that you write down. But if there is something that could be done today, do it today. If there is an invite that you could send today, do it. If there is a friend that you can request, do it. You have to fill your pockets with people. If you don't have time during the day, then your time should be spent on people. It should be spent on checking in with your challengers. It should be spent on checking in with your coaches. And it should be spent on checking in with yourself. Checking in with your inbox and inviting people. Because if that inbox isn't constantly beeping, and by the way, if you don't you should totally turn your notifications off on your phone because your life's going to get so much more like, but anyway. You got to fill the time that you do have with the right things. So do the unsexy work, basically is what I'm saying. Because you're going to feel a lot sexier when you wake up the next day and you're like, oh my God, like I wasn't a fraud. I did the work to get to where I wanted to go. And that feels a hell of a lot sexier than, kind of just being all talk and no action. Because that's how I felt. And that's a shitty way to feel. Like, just disappointed in yourself. It's not a good way to feel. Feel the sexiness because you put in the work. Feel the excitement because you reached a goal.
Raise your hand, guys. I'm going to ask because I know I feel that way like all the time. Like, raise your hand if like you just feel like you had an awesome day if you get like everything done on your to-do list. Like if you just totally rock the day from like start to finish, like you did everything, you got your workout in, you ate clean, you ran your business, you did well at your job, you were positive, whatever. Like the end of the day, you lay your head down and you're like, man, that felt good. You guys feel that way?
Yes.
Yeah, same. I just relating to that. Just wanted to take a poll there.
No, and she's exactly right. Like, we have to commit to programs. We have to create some type of organization for ourselves. We got to show up and be that positive, bright light. And honestly, guys, my business didn't change until I started changing myself every day. I wasn't yo-yoing anymore. I was actually in this for myself to grow myself. You can't skip personal development. You can't skip being a product of the product. I'm not even talking like, oh, I don't need my Shakeology. Like we all, I don't have mine right now because my new shipment hasn't come in. We've all done that. But like it needs to be a priority. I know it's just a shake, but like it's a shake that we talk about every single day. It's a shake that changes our lives. Same things with these workouts. Like don't just half-ass what is given to us. Like show people what's possible here. Have a real story to tell with it. And when you talk to your challengers, when you talk to your coaches, when you are inviting people, don't be, passive. Be honest with them. Be yourself. Engage with people. Don't just show up because you're showing up. Don't just send an invite. Like I was honestly thinking the other day when I was sitting down doing like, I call it like my inbox hour or whatever. I was like, oh my God, like I used to be a freaking robot. Like I would just sit here and be like, hey girl, how are you? So great to talk to you. Thanks, bye. Hey girl, love your pic. Talk to you later, bye. Like I had no like true me in anything. I had no personality. I had no honesty and with objections. I had no I wasn't following up because I was afraid that person was gonna think I was crazy. And I'll be honest with you, when you have a I can't fail mentality, then a lot of fears start to go out the window. It's not as scary anymore to go live. It's not as scary anymore to ask a girl why she really isn't joining you. It's not as scary anymore to really get deep with your coaches and try to help your coaches. It's not as scary anymore to, talk to a girl that you might think that might think you're crazy because you followed up 6 times. It's not scary because you have an absolutely I cannot fail at this mentality. When your fear goes out the window, it's because you cannot fail. You've made that decision that this is it. This is what I'm going to make work, and I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make it work. So when I decided I was going to quit my job, I wrote it on a piece of paper and stuck it up on my door, and I was like, holy shit, how am I going to do that? Like, how am I going to do that? I was so scared. I was like, there's no way I'm going to make that money. There's no way this. There's no way that. There's no way I would be able to do that. And honestly, guys, I did. I do. Because it's what I want. It's the only thing that I want. It's the only answer that I have for my life. And that's how matter-of-fact things have to be. That's just the way it is. I think Natalie, made a great point where she just kind of explained that you have to figure out a way to get your back against the wall. Maybe it doesn't have to do with a job. And she told me that from day one. And I was just never ready for the responsibility to be on my shoulders. I wasn't ready for that. And still to this day, I can't believe I wake up every day and have the balls to do a business that relies on me. But every night when I lay my head down, I've never felt more proud. I've never felt more just confident with who I am. I've never felt more excited to be alive and more grateful and more inspired because I simply am finally doing what I always wanted to do, but I never felt like I could get there to do it. Like I never felt like I was going to get there, but I simply just never gave up. It was a hell of a journey. It still is. I'm learning every single day. I want you guys to know, it might seem like I quit my job, I gave myself a raise, I had the best month ever, I'm on fire. But honestly, guys, I still wake up every single day scared. I wake up every day and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know, I'm scared of that. I don't know if I can talk to that person. Like, what do they think I'm crazy? Like, I don't know how to handle this situation. How am I going to do that? And the thing is you just push through that. Because you know what you want. You have an absolutely matter-of-fact reason why you're here. And if that's not going to change, then you're always going to show up. So I guess what I'm trying to say to get to the point of all of this is you're never going to do the work and you're never going to really, show up and do what you got to do to make this what you want to make it, until you decide that you're going to go on that journey and you're going to believe every single day that those small actions that you don't probably want to do, trust me, it is way cuter to spend your time taking selfies. It's way cuter to spend your time creating graphics. It's way cuter to pretend like you're this badass coach than it is to get behind a computer and sit and do work that scares you all day. It's not hard, but we have to work hard at this business. I simply thought when I had that first month on my own as a coach that I could just show up here and there. I'm going to do some invites today. I'll probably do some follow-ups today. Maybe I'll, create new relationships today. You have to have a plan and you have to know every single day, I'm working toward this. And maybe that's a monthly goal. Maybe that's a 5-year goal. I don't know what it is, but if you've never sat down and looked at the way you want your life to look, you will not do the work that you have to do in this business to make it work. Because you just don't have a big enough reason. It's so easy to do that's just as easy not to do. And if you don't have that big picture purpose, then those really, really small actions will get swept under the rug and you'll wait till tomorrow to do them. And don't wait till tomorrow to do something that you could do today, because what you do today could totally change what your life looks like a month from now or a year from now. And honestly, I'll just leave you guys with this. I thought about this today. And I want you guys to understand that it's not easy to share your life. Natalie said to me, the only thing I really know about you if I went to your social media was you're cute brunette, you have a fitness transformation, you live in Florida, and you have a really cute boyfriend, and that's about it. Because that's all that my life was amounting to on social media, because I wasn't I wasn't growing my life behind the scenes. That's all I had to share with people. And now my content comes like that, because every single day my mind is like, how can I grow? How can I move forward? What can I do today to grow myself so I can grow my business, to help grow somebody else, to create this life-changing business? Guys, life is precious. It's precious. It's so precious. It's all about the relationships that you have in your life. The only thing that matters at the end of this is when we lay our heads down, and what people remember us for, what people remember you as, the type of person that you were to other people. So if you're not sharing your story, if you're not truly being who you are, you're selling yourself short. You're selling others short. You're selling people short of the opportunity to change their lives through this opportunity. And that's the way I look at it every single day. If I don't show up today, then I am not going to help somebody else show up to be the person that they can be in their life. So that's all I got. Sorry if I went on tangents. I tried to stay organized, but it's a crazy train up in here. So
no, that was really awesome. Really good, really inspiring. I think you spoke to a lot of people today. Just, even me, I just think we all can relate on so many different aspects, that sometimes through this journey we get so lost on the business side of it. We just start going through the motions of Success Club, rank in the company. How can I qualify for this trip? How can I do that? And we get lost in that we forget to work with purpose of how this can attach to our lives. How can we, what can we do today that's going to impact our lives, not impact our Beachbody status? You know what I mean? Because I think if we can hone in on impacting our lives, our families' lives, the things that mean so much to us, helping that challenger see success, helping that coach see success in their personal lives, I think your business will grow itself organically, because we're focused on the right things. We're helping people, which is what Team Beachbody is. We're all here because we were helped by somebody.
Right.
Realize that every single one of us have been helped by somebody. That's why we're here, myself included. So I try to remember that. And, becoming a mom, I would say, is the most humbling experience of my life thus far. And you just really start to shift your priorities. A year ago, before I had my daughter, I was all Beachbody is everything. Beachbody is my life. I want to, be number one in the company. I want to do this and this and this and this. And now that I have a daughter and I see that value of family, and there's just so many things that I want to do for her in my life, now that my business has shifted, it's so much deeper, because I just want to create a business that is sustainable, that can help somebody else, that can provide for my family, that can give my daughter the life I never had, that can give me more time with my family. That's what means something. So wherever you guys are in your business, I think it's just important to find what inspires you. And what inspires you guys, number one, is you have to start within. And every single coach that I've helped create a solid business, they've always had to work on themselves first. They've always had to get their own transformations. They've had to deal with their own demons. They've had to figure out what inspires them, not what they think should inspire them. They've had to remind themselves of that 5 million times. They had to actually change somebody else's life, really help somebody have a transformation so they can see how powerful it feels to help somebody else. And then they have to do that over and over and over again. So
I'll just say, honestly, guys, just remember, just be a coach. Just help somebody change their life. It's not this rocket science. There's all these crazy trainings and all this stuff blowing up all over us, all over the place all the time. But if we can just keep our eyes set on, I want to change your life. I can change your life. And I am not going to stop until I help you do that. So I think she's right. Just stay focused on the true purpose behind this, and don't overcomplicate it. So it'll feel good when you finally feel like a coach, not because you're posting on social media or, this and that, but like she said, when you really help somebody change their life, or you change your own life.
And do that by investing in your challenge groups. When you're pushing your butt off for Success Club this month, and when you hit it, and when you hit 10 or 12 or 14, or when you lock in 7 or 8 or 9, like whatever it is, those are people behind those numbers. Like, how can you be the best you can be for them behind the scenes in an online health and fitness accountability group? What can you do to up the ante, to really help them stay jazzed about their health and fitness, to make sure they're showing up every day? Give them you for 30 days, right? And watch how you transform their lives. And guys, that itself is like, it's totally going to kickstart your business, because you realize, you really start to see what you do for somebody when you're really connected to the people that you're working with. So
you're going to want to help more and more and more and more and more people.
Yeah. It's a sick game.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it, guys. Do you have anything to add, or any questions you guys want to ask Mackenzie specifically before we hop off here?
I started sweating. Kelsey, I got the passion sweats. Thanks for listening, guys. I just read through everything in the chat, and I just really appreciate everything. Honestly, I just I feel where probably every single person on this call feels right now. I feel like I felt every emotion you can feel in this business. I guess my final words would be, just don't ever give up. You will get through it. When it literally feels hard, that's because you're pushing forward. When it feels really hard, that means you're growing, and you're actually growing your business, even though it feels like everything around you is crumbling. That's when you're really actually moving forward, as long as you don't give up.
And reflection is huge. And that's something like, just FYI, guys, hate to be the bearer of bad news here, but you never feel like you've made it, ever. Like, you can be making a certain amount of money, you can be a certain rank, no matter where you are in this business. You could be failing or succeeding as much as the next person, and you're never going to feel like it's good enough. That's why, like, finding the joy and, like, always reflecting on, like, well, what was my life like a month ago? Or what was my life like a year ago? How much have I grown since then? You really start to see, like, wow, this is so awesome, and this is so worth it. And, if I wasn't doing this, then I would be here, and I would be missing out on this. So it's like all about that reflection and that joy and that gratitude, and just, stay in the course. Because every single day I wake up and I'm like, oh gosh, I'm failing at this business, right? So
I don't think you're working hard enough until you feel that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if you don't feel like that, then work harder, because
and the thing is, like, my business is in a completely different place again than it was last year. So I know I'm not failing. I just feel like I am, because it's so slow. It's every day is so, you just feel like, I just worked so hard today and nothing happened. But 6 months from now, you're going to see all that hard work pay off tenfold. So stay in it, stay excited, find your purpose.
That's why, I guess, and that's why you guys, you got to be here for more of a reason, it's got to be more about, even if it, like she said, even if it feels like your business didn't grow forward today, sometimes I'll be like, well, I had a great conversation. And if I had a great conversation with someone and I feel like they really maybe broke through something, it could be something so small like that, but that's the kind of joy that you have to find in something like this, because it will get hard, but it's worth it for the smallest reason sometimes. So
we could talk all night, Mac.
All right, I know, right? Have a great night. About to go back and forth. It's gonna be bad. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it, and have a great week. Bye.
Yeah, I'll get the recording up tomorrow, guys. Have a great night. Thanks so much for coming. Thank you, Mac.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.